I did. I did. It closes next week.
Nice,
A
man.
KW
Congrats.
agent bought it.
Nice.
Yeah. 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 It was listed a bit
I
high at
did.
first,
I
but
did. This is next week.
it was
Nice, man.
W agent
we
bought it.
got it down.
Cool. All right. We are set up now. So, all right. So one thing I want to do, I want to just real quick, and we'll keep it to like it. It looks like it's a smaller meeting today. So we'll keep it to, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. But want to do just like super quick introductions, hear what people, where they're located, what you guys need, what you guys can offer. That way, everyone who's on the call kind of gets an idea, and then I want to spend starting at like 6:30. We're gonna do some small breakout rooms, and I want to make some calls. I know Celicia and Jonathan Santiago a couple weeks did that before. How many of you guys are either wholesaling properties or on the phones in some way, whether it's you or someone else, and you're more doing the integrator portion? How many people are wholesaling properties or actually in acquisitions? Couple of us. All right. All right. So let me just get an idea where everyone's at. So I'm just gonna kind of go along. Corey, you want to do a quick intro about yourself, what you're looking for, where you're at?
You say me?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm Corey Keza. I'm up in central New Hampshire. I'm a realtor with Realty One. Right now, I'm actually focusing on building out my brand, my investment company brand. As you can see behind me, my logo. I'm building a website here. So what I'm looking for are basically partners, I guess, slash affiliates that basically like a buyer's list of investors, of sellers. The whole thing isn't quite built out yet, so I'm still working out the mechanics of it. But I'm looking for people who basically want to be put on a buy list, investors who want to be put on a list to receive basically leads. I'll be taking inbound leads and then kind of dishing them out to different investors or affiliates or partners, or you want to call them, based on what their buy box is.
Nice. Good deal. All in New Hampshire or elsewhere as well?
Well, right now I'm just focusing on New Hampshire, but even I guess anywhere would be fine too.
I see a guy that wants to buy in New Hampshire on here. Justin's like, yes, sir. Creative deals all day, every day. Cool. All right. Ketsia, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, you are.
Awesome. So we connected a little bit. You're out of Boston, yeah?
Yes, I'm here in Boston.
Awesome. Have you met Santiago and John Fothergill?
Yes, I met them last night.
Good. So yeah, give us a little background on what you're looking to do.
Okay, cool. So I'm looking to focus on multifamilies up to 4 units in Boston.
Okay.
And what else? Looking to do, Subto with them, long-term rentals. And yeah, so far I've been looking through PropStream, but also in my neighborhood. So it's like unintentional walking for dollars, as I just, I walk every day and I just noticed these properties. So I've been looking into these properties, and I'm planning on reaching out with Fothergill and Santiago on reaching out to sellers with those two, the help of those two. So that's as far as I've gotten outside of watching, course videos.
Yeah. How are you planning to acquire them? Do you have private money lined up? Are you just looking for creative, and what's that?
So no, I don't. I mean, I met a few cash buyers before I joined this community. But myself and Father Gil and Santiago, sorry, we'll talk through that. Right now I do not know, but so yeah, like we have to actually have another call and go through some more info on the property that I have my eye on, especially.
Cool. Love it.
Um,
All right, Grace.
Hi, I'm in Stamford, Connecticut, 1 month in Subto now. Just wrap up the training videos, but started calling and door knocking pre-foreclosures. That's where I want to focus on, but I'm doing Gator and short-term private money lending on the side.
How have you had any luck with that so far?
Which one?
Private money lending and Gator lending?
Yeah, I'm into a couple of short-term PML, like 3 months deals, and I did 3 Gator deals.
Oh, good for you. Congrats. Congrats. I know we have a couple people. I don't see anyone on the call right now that's down in the Stanford area.
Yeah.
I'm like an hour and a half away. I'm around the Hartford area. And
Okay.
then I know, let's see.
I am yet to connect to what's his name? I'm so bad. I'm so busy with my W2 these days that I kind of like all over the place. There's so many things to do, and
Yeah. Hone in on what you're really interested in doing, especially for anyone that's got busy W2s. A lot of people come in thinking they're going to do one thing and then realize that maybe something else is much more fitting. So like some people are like, I want to get out of my W2, so I need to replace that income. Other people are like, I actually like my W2. I kind of want to stay in that. I don't necessarily want to have a whole business on my own, but I want to invest in real estate for the long term. So be careful.
Yeah, I love my W2. It's just that it so happened that we launched a new project. I'm in IT, and just like the timing is kind of like,
Yeah.
like I'm so many things to do. I want to finish like this Subto training. I want to watch this some pre-foreclosures. I want to binge watch on the pre-foreclosures, but I also have to work sometimes overnight for my IT because we just launched the project. It will last for like 4 to 6 months, so it's taking up a lot of my time these days. But yeah, just trying to course through it.
Cool. Love it. Love it. All right, Pavel. And then Nick, you're up next. I'll try to give everyone a heads up for the next person.
No, it's all good. So I'm actually still working my W2 because my W2 actually takes up so much time. So I've already kind of gave a brief of last week what's going on with me, but I'm actually quitting my W2 because it's so time consuming. Working 60, 70 hours a week does not help do real estate at all. So I am taking advantage of the fact that I'm a licensed journeyman electrician. I'm going to start my own electrical business in Massachusetts. I got my real estate LLC. I'm in the process of transferring the 2 single families into my real estate LLC. I got my electrical business LLC set up, got my banking set up today. So I'll be getting my charge cards and whatnot for my electrical. I already have a month's worth of electrical work lined up. And giving my notice next week. So I figured I can work 3 to 4 days a week and have 1 to 2 days a week of fully committed myself to real estate and looking for deals and whatnot.
Talk to Justin about having your own electrical business. He had one for many years, and so he's probably a good resource to just connect with and hear a little bit about what that was like, and obviously balancing that and real estate.
Yeah. So it's really not a long-term plan. The electrical is a short-term plan to replace my W2 income, essentially. So I don't have 6 months or 8 months of money sitting in my bank account. So I do need to do something. So the easiest way is to put tools on my belt and go do some work. And like I say, work 3 days a week or so to equal what I'm doing in like 6 days a week right now. So that's the game plan for now.
Gotcha.
And then, if I get a couple more real estate deals where I can make some money off of the real estate rather than working electrical, then I will probably give up on my electrical business. Still keep my license because it's hard to get electrical license. But I'm definitely gonna probably scale back on how much I do into electrical as I pick up more real estate.
Cool.
You have a W-2 right now, you said?
Yep.
Are you working for an electrical contractor right now?
So I actually work for a rep right now. I used to work for Interstate Electrical and then other contractor prior to Interstate. And then I worked for a rep for lighting and lighting control rep for 5 years now. And it's just too much time. So I'm giving up on my rep world, being the sales consulting kind of a person, putting tools back on my belt and starting my own electrical.
All right, I'll connect with you later, but I think I have another idea that might be a little bit better for you, but we can connect anytime. Feel free to hit me up and.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Cool.
Nice. Grace, by the way, Drew just got on. He's also in Stanford. So he's someone to connect with who's not far from you. Just
What's your name?
FYI.
Drew
Tarantino. Like, he's waving now. Yeah.
Drew, let me see. Where is it? Oh, okay.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm
Drew,
seeing-
I'll put my number on the side.
We'll go out of order a little bit, but Drew, give just like quick intro. It's been a minute since I seen you, so a little.
I've been meaning to text you back, Ari. Sorry about that. You
No,
ever get
you're
in touch
good.
with that property owner?
Yeah, so I've been in touch with her. I know it's listed. They had I don't know if I told you, but they had someone back out last minute. Super nice lady, down to earth. She's looking to move to Italy. So she saw my last name and we got to chat all about that and schmooze a little bit. But yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll have to, I
Perfect.
haven't driven by the property, but I'm thinking of going out there and just taking a peek at it.
Gotcha. Well, if you want me to go out there and take some photos, I think I'm actually going to Milford tomorrow to look at a probate deal. So it's not far from the area, I don't think.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, if you want to if you're not far from it and want to take a peek at it and just see, what kind of numbers we'd be ballparkish. I think she was looking for 500. I think, but it's zoned commercial and residential, which might.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I'm in. For everyone who doesn't know me, it's been a couple weeks since I've been in here. Live in Stamford, Connecticut, from Fairfield County, Connecticut area. Wholesaling, doing a little bit of fix and flipping all throughout Connecticut. Doing about 1 to 3 transactions a month right now, trying to scale a little bit on the texting side. Kind of was doing 1 to 2 a month from just door knocking, cold calling off my cell phone, cold texting off my cell phone, kind of like a madman, but then trying my best to delegate over the past 5 months now with texting and things like that, but little harder than it sounds. Scaling, trying to get to that 3 to 6 range from the 1 to 3 and then up to 10. It's there's some processes and things like that I'm learning to try to get better at. Drip campaigns, things of that nature. Organizing data better, knowing when to hit the data and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with lately. So yeah.
Awesome. So Grace, yeah, you connect with Drew at some point. He popped his number.
Yep, I got his number.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Where do you live, Grace? Stanford?
In Stanford, near West Broad. In West Broad.
Oh, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot me a text.
Yep, I will.
All right, Nick Dulac. And then Dylan, you'll be up next.
Hey guys, I'm out of southern New Hampshire, Rochester, and southern Maine, primarily fix and flips. Actually, starting to get into wholesaling, and that's pretty much it. I'm also licensed, trying to get away from that. Been selling for a couple of years now, and basically in my business, I'm going to need deals, private money, and I'm actually away from the private money, and I'm actually looking for equity partners instead of private money, because I'm not a big fan of the interest for maybe 3 months, where instead of the interest, we could actually split the deal, and then you would actually make more money. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do. So if anyone's interested in that, feel free to reach out, and we can go from there.
Sweet. All right, Dylan, and then Dawn if she comes back. If not, JT. Oh, there we go. All right, Dylan, go for it.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? I live in Philly, lived in for the last 2 years, but live in Mystic, and then moving back up to New England area, not sure yet, in November. I'm doing direct to agent, low equity on market. Been doing that, concentrating on that for the last 2 weeks. Hoping to close or get something under contract here this week, hopefully tomorrow. So that's all I got.
What's been your primary way to get in touch with agents? Are you mostly doing just
Direct
properties and giving them a
Yeah,
call?
so pulling properties directly off PropStream, and then basically looking to see what the equity is, and then calling directly to the agent, like looking their number up on Zillow, basically.
Okay, so more one-off kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right, Dawn, and then Justin.
Yes. Hi, my name is Dawn Stanley. I'm running texting campaigns in Massachusetts. At this point, my brain says I want to take anything and everything that comes and keep it myself and hold on to it, but I don't think that's sustainable. So eventually, as things come through, we'll be looking for wholesaling, JVing, and all that stuff. So yeah, we've got a few things in the pipeline, and it's fun to talk about and have conversations with these folks. Direct to seller is what we're doing.
Any specific part of Massachusetts or anywhere in Massachusetts?
I've got Worcester, Middlesex, and Norfolk counties just because they're near me. So that's my first thought, but I feel like I can go anywhere. So, but sticking with that for now.
Love it. All right, we're gonna skip over Justin because I think he's on the phone, and then we'll come back to him when he's free. So
I'm good. I just had to send a voice message. Sorry. What's up, guys?
Thing.
Justin Tumanowski. I'm up in Southern New Hampshire and all over New England. So yeah, bring your deals in. If you guys need help with anything, we're helping people. Doesn't necessarily mean we need to wedge in a deal at all. We have a lot of experience. So what we have is that a lot of experience. We can help you in any direction. Typically, we're buyers. And if you need something, reach out to me also. So don't be bashful. Introduce yourself. Justin at lkpropertygroup.com. I'll put my email on the side. And or just like look in the, what is it, the Subto group? All right.
Yeah, your number is posted on your Discord handle. So
just expect a delay in response. I have someone checking my emails too. So just blast it away.
Justin,
I actually have a question. Oh, I'm sorry, Ari.
No. Go for it.
Yeah, Justin, you had a Instagram, if you don't mind. You had an Instagram story the other day. I think it was you said a novation deal turned Subto or Subtail. Can you kind of explain why you pivoted there or what happened with that?
Yeah, great. We took a home down that was pre-foreclosure, guys, and the woman died the day of like signing. So her husband had it, but then I don't know, long story short, it was like we had to go through probate. So then we went through probate, hanging tight through the novation. And then at the end, the attorneys go, hey, just so you know, there could be some lien holders or someone looking to collect the debt. They may be able to put a lien on the estate, which I have, again, if you're following me, we take a house over novation, which essentially is just a partnership. We didn't take the deed. We just partnershiped with the homeowner under a contract. We're taking possession of the home. We have full control. They go through probate 4 months later, come to find out maybe there's debt that a lien holder could come to surface. Well, they weren't getting any money for this property. So there was zero to get from the proceeds. There was nothing to give. So yes, we could have left it and then they could have transferred anyway, and that estate could have still owed someone, and the estate had nothing in there. It's like having nothing in the bank. You can't take anything. But we didn't even want to chance that. We didn't want to get dragged into anything. So we said, you know what? We're taking over subject 2. We're going to close on the deed. And the reason why we did that, guys, is because you don't have to pay tax stamps twice, pay closings twice. So it was like, we could have saved $4,000, but in the scheme of things, and then we're starting to learn, don't let the little $4,000 turn into an $8,000 mistake. So
Gotcha.
if that helps you, Drew.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Justin, you just got back from the mastermind, like an extended mastermind. First of all, how did your presentation go? Because I know you were giving a talk there. And then how was it in general?
I really didn't do any talks. The only thing we did was a bunch of podcasts. I did speak up a few times just because Pace, called upon. But guys, check it out. Like, everyone's watching New England. You can hear Suzanne say it. You can hear Ari say it. You can hear everyone say it. They are watching. I met everybody across the country and beyond. And I would say every other question was probably like, hey man, we want to do meetups. We want to do this. What are you guys doing? Jeff Smith down in Texas, one of the bigger leaders, someone who has authority, someone who is smart, who is running his own programs and his own trainings. I had dinner with him and he said, I'm effing jealous of what you guys are doing. And he goes, I have never told anyone that. And I was taken by that. So hats off to everybody involved, anyone who's in this community. So side note, but yes, it was great. I've been telling everybody the connections were deep, meaning interactions with humans was deep, so deep. Before it's like, you see someone on Zoom, you're like, hey man, hey, you say, how you doing? And it's not, you say hi, just like at our meetups too. Sometimes I don't get to see everybody. You could shake a hand and that's really it. These were much higher level, deeper. And then the next thing I would say is the same thing that I learned 2 years ago, or what I learned now this week, and I put it back 2 years ago when I went to the first mastermind, I wouldn't even be able to apply it. It's like the knowledge I know now can only be taken now. I couldn't have used it 2 years ago.
Well, it's like reading a good book twice or 3 times. You get something new each time because you're in a different spot.
Exactly. Yeah, but the love has been there. The love's there for New England. And yeah, that's all I can really say. I mean, it's just great stuff.
It's cool to hear what you're saying about Jeff Smith saying that stuff about New England, because I think I've taken it for granted at different points, especially when I first joined. It was like, oh, okay, well, it's the only thing you're used to. So you're just like, oh, I guess everyone does that. But that's totally, it's not the case. And the fact that we have, I think partly it's out of design, partly it's because most of the people in New England are either live here or are actually doing deals here and care about it, versus some of the other, like, I'm part of the Florida group, but I never participate in that. Arizona gets the same thing, but like, it's unique. Nowhere else has this.
Like Orlando, I was surprised is up for the grabs. And I met a gentleman who's going to take it. But I'm like, Orlando is up for grabs? What?
You'd think that would already be locked in.
There's a ton of people in Florida and no one wants to take it. No one wants to take responsibility. Everyone's selfish. And so if everyone can stop being so selfish and they can say, what do you need and what do you have? Like, it's even that mentality is going to get you a lot further. So that's why we love on each other. We rent houses together. We hang out with each other. You guys get to use my houses. You guys get to use, Courtney is one of the biggest go-givers in here. Like, come on. It's because of that camaraderie. So that's why they're loved on. That's why New England's loved on. So you're 100% correct. In Arizona, holy moly. Like, I saw that for the first hand, how they roll deep. They roll deep. It is cool because they're in the Mecca. And we were in the middle of that Mecca. And it is cool, but it's also at the same time, like, a lot going on. Like, so the love here, and it's a little like more grassroots, right? It's too high level and not authentic.
I was going to say, yeah, here it just feels very authentic. It feels like family.
And it takes time. It takes time to get that. And for some folks that are new and haven't been around and haven't seen the meetups and all that, like, there's good and bad, right? things aren't the best all the time, but in general, you have everyone has good intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool to hear though, that we're getting love on even out
Oh
there.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, at one point everyone was going through their things. Like Peace was just talking to people in the first time, and I'll try to see if I can find it and we'll play it on the side. But he goes, at the end, he's like, Tumanowski, very surprised I haven't heard from you. And I said, I'm just watching everybody. Like, because they were all talking about their meetups and masterminds and stuff, and I just zipped it. And I just listened and watched. And that's rare for me to just shut up, if anyone knows me. And he called me out, and then I'm like, give me that microphone. And then we stood up and we talked about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll try to find that.
Jen-
I'll find the clip and we'll put it out there.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Post it.
Yeah, guys. Hey, great showing up. And yeah, keep staying consistent if I can offer any advice.
Cool. Perfect. All right, Sean and then Courtney.
What's up, guys? Sean, I'm out of Southern New Hampshire, wholesaling all over New Hampshire, Massachusetts. This month, we're breaking into Maine and parts of Rhode Island. Yeah, just looking for people to sell deals to. We were on a 3 to 4 week hiatus from end of April to May, but now we're back marketing full time. So if I can help you in any way, let me know.
Nice. Nice. All right, Courtney. I see your
Type
your
loud in
slide
here.
now.
They're printing.
Oh, are you
Hi.
in the shop?
No, you're good. It's fine. I'm Courtney from Rhode Island. We have a print shop. You see the shirt Justin's wearing. I think that's one of them, right?
With a QR code.
Right? It's scannable, really, really tiny too. It's pretty cool, actually. No need for a card. So yeah, we mostly do the printing is one of our businesses, and then we do like mostly SMS texting, lead gen for people. And we just started doing some for like other people, like texting for Justin and Z and Celicia and I are teaming up to try to do like a Rhode Island thing now. So that's cool.
That's the first I'm hearing about that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Z, Celicia, me and Dean are like kind of working on some stuff, and we're like open to texting people's lists. Like we just want to text. So we're doing that, and then I'm doing a lot of social media for me, for Justin, and like we're definitely need to catch up on the mastermind stuff. But there's more stuff coming out from mastermind. Even tonight, I'm working on one. So
That's great. That's
yeah,
great.
it's fun. It's fun.
What platform are you using to text?
We're using Batch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely have enjoyed using Batch. It's not the most automated, but it works, and I have found it to be the least expensive.
Yeah, for sure. It's solid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Chris and then Oscar. And Chris, I saw your post about having space in Boston. I'm sure that both John Santiago and Jonathan Fothergill would be super appreciative of that, because I know the last meetup they had was like 50 people or something, and are outgrowing their space very quickly.
No, it's not that big. It's just a nice, calm, cozy. It's centrally located, and if you want to pop in and do like a meeting or something, or just I could
Gotcha.
probably fit like 10, 20 people tops. It's not a big place.
Well, still, there's room enough for that, for sure.
I mean, it'd be a nice place to sign paperwork. Just get together and like talk about a deal or something. If somebody's in Boston, you're like, hey, meet me right over here. We can talk about your property, XYZ. So.
Yeah. So where are you out of? What do you need? What do you have to offer?
So my business is in Boston. We do construction. I've been talking to John and John a lot lately. Ever since I started opening my mouth, some like opportunities have been coming my way.
Wait, say that one more time.
Ever since, dude, it's crazy. Like, I've been in positions where I could have put myself into some deals, but I just didn't know what I didn't know. And I also didn't, I was scared or just didn't, couldn't execute. So I've just been talking about to people like, hey, I might want to do some development. Might want to buy some property, like, you know. And then as soon as I start saying that to people, they start sending stuff my way to look at. So we've been looking at some stuff with John and John, just kind of running it through the mill and seeing if it makes sense. I got into Subto, within the last month, just looking to get some stuff down in Fall River for like multis.
Yeah.
And make calls. So we started texting down there, my wife and I, Tamara's and I, and that was like the original intent. So that, we joined Subto, just love the community. You guys are like absolutely amazing. Still trying to feel our way out, but anything, I could do to help. Like construction is my thing. So I have a lot of resources in Boston, a lot of subs, a lot of people I could call on, if someone needs something. And yeah.
That's awesome. I want to, like, the idea of speaking out. You have to make sure that people hear you. Speak up when you need something, because no one's going to be able to read your mind, and people are focused on their own stuff, right? Like, we're all focused on whatever we've got to do, and until you come out and say, guys, I need this, or respond to what other people are asking, you're going to kind of remain sort of anonymous, right? So the more vocal you can be about how you can provide value and what you need, the more you're going to get out of this community. And the education's fine. I don't like, it's good education, it's solid education, but you can get education anywhere. You can't get this. You can't get this community, you can't get the meetups, you can't get any of that stuff. So utilize that. That's the real value in this. But speak up. Talk about what you need. Talk about how people can help you, and talk about how you can help other people. All right, Oscar and then TJ.
Hi everybody, my name is Oscar Rosario. I just got into Subto, like I want to say 3 weeks ago.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm out of Rhode Island. And what were the three things you said? Where you're out of, what you need, and what you can provide.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get into is buy and holds, like multifamily, even single family. I just got to figure out really how like to market it, all this stuff. I'm kind of just been, huh?
Have you talked to Courtney and Dean? They're out of Rhode Island.
I've talked to Courtney and Celicia. I've talked to a couple people. I'm actually trying to meet up with this kid. I think his name is Alex. Yeah, Alex.
Cool.
I met him at the last meeting last week, and I know he was talking about he has some properties and stuff. So I kind of want to see what my options are. Right now, I have a little bit of debt that I'm trying to clear off, but in a couple of months, I should be all clear to just save up money to invest. And then after that, I'm golden. I just want to, and then also I was talking to Mario today, and Mario and Marcia, and kind of seeing where I'm sorry?
Marsha.
Yep. So my bad for butchering the name.
No,
just trying to see where I can fit in and where I can help people the most, as well as look for beneficial things as well. So that's kind of where I'm looking. I'm just kind of soaking in a lot of things and seeing where I can fit in.
Reach out to, so I don't know if Celicia had to jump off, but reach out to Courtney after, because she's going to know your Rhode Island market the best, and she'll be able to help guide you in the right direction. She and Celicia, Celicia, I know, kind of jumps on and off. So, but give them a call and they'll guide you in the right direction.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. All right, TJ and then Dean, I don't know if you're around and want to give a quick intro. You might be taking care of the twins. So if you're around, you can jump on. Cool. All right, TJ, then Dean.
Hey everybody, my name's CJ. I'm based out of Massachusetts. Actually, I live on a Cape. I primarily have done bird deals, so I've done multifamily bird deals upstate New York, and just closed a transaction in Connecticut for a multifamily using a hybrid. Let's see what I have. I've done construction. So I definitely took your number, Chris, because I'm looking to kind of expand in Massachusetts. I feel like I live here and surrounding, but none of the properties I have are nearby. So I'm definitely looking to expand. So I might hit you up. I don't know. I think I've sent something in the group chat about working on a deal. And I talked to Suzanne, and she kind of helped me out a little bit. So I'm just trying to work deals, follow the proper process and kind of go from there. But I've usually done anything like extensive rehab to, cosmetic. It's kind of where I'm at.
Awesome. Dean, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Nice. All right. Introduce yourself, because you stay invisible most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the one behind Courtney. Just
I'm
let her let her steal the show, man. So it's all good. No, my name's Dean. I'm the other half of Courtney. We live here in Rhode Island. Currently, we're doing everything virtual down in Jacksonville, Florida, and surrounding like that area of Northeast Florida. And we've been in Subto. I think we actually just had an anniversary with our 1 year in Subto. So but we were able to JV out the gate with some cool people here that were local and everything. And one of the things that we're looking to do after I went over to the meetup that Jeff had not too long ago and everything, and I just realized that when we were sitting around the table and Jeff was just running the show like a freaking champ, he was like, what do you want? What do you need? How can we help? Let's just do the whole thing. And I just realized that a lot of people want leads, and that's where me and Courtney come in. We love doing lead gens. And if you have lists that are just sitting there, that's been collecting dust or whatnot, that's what we'll do. We'll get out there, we'll pound it, and we'll find the lead that's in that list that you might have. And we're looking, and obviously we're in Rhode Island, but we're looking in Mass and Connecticut and all that kind of stuff, and working together. And just we see the opportunity with JVing, and that's going to be the key for our future. So.
I love that, man. I think it's so true. But it's also like it doesn't need to be an individual activity. If you can work together, like Justin was saying earlier, don't be selfish. Allow everyone to kind of eat from the same piece of the pie, because there's just so much, and you're going to miss out on stuff if you're trying to do it all yourself, especially at the beginning. Like be totally okay with getting 5% or 10% of a deal that closes rather than no percent of what you're not.
Yeah, exactly. I've always heard 5% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Hell yes. Yes. Dean, do you know, this is a personal question, but do you know St. Augustine?
Yeah, always.
So
yeah,
I've got a guy, and I was looking for some comps. It's a little bit hard, but he's got 3 properties, essentially all of which he wants to sell. And I was having trouble finding out, are they good areas, bad areas? One's a mobile home, one's home in foreclosure that I think he just got a contract for. Hasn't signed anything, but yeah, I'll send you over the addresses, because we just ran into it today, and I was like,
The one thing about St. Augustine is you could have the most dumpiest dump.
Yeah.
But you are in the #1 school district in the state of Florida. So no matter what, you're going to have people that are going to want to take their kids to that area, and they'll do that kind of stuff, man. It's just how it is. But no, reach out. That's our thing. We're looking. We almost closed a deal right outside of Jacksonville, And ironically, I might just send Courtney down there to do filming of it and everything because she loves the social media, man. I reached out to Chris the other day and he was talking about doing something in Fall River, and Courtney's like grabbed this horse of social media by the whole, by the ring and just said, let's do this. So, I mean, I'm proud of her for that kind of stuff. So
That's awesome. Well, if you want a 6-bedroom house in St. Augustine, we might have one.
there it is. There it is.
Cool.
Too far
Awesome.
south. Yeah, too far south. We want northern Florida. Anybody?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still looking for you in Jacksonville, but
Yeah.
I figured, you know what? 6-family house. I know we talked about that, so might as well toss it out there. But yeah, I'll send you the addresses for them. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind taking a peek and seeing what
For sure.
that'd be great.
For sure, because I know we wanted to follow up with you also on that portfolio.
Yes. I tried to get in contact with him the other day and wasn't able to. So I'll give him a call tomorrow.
So cool, man.
I'll see what he's got.
That's what JVing's about. You don't have to JV here. It could be JV freaking 16 hours away and everything. I mean, so
yeah, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all.
Exactly. And see, Chris is talking about going down to Florida and everything, becoming like a full-time snowbird and everything, So it's like Subto is gonna have little sprinkles all around the damn country before it's over with from New England.
So I know I'm getting a little sidetracked on this, but I have yet to have a deal. First of all, I haven't done any deals locally. And I have yet to have a deal where I couldn't get someone to go to a property within 24 hours.
There it is.
That's how powerful this is. It's
Yeah.
just someone knows someone and can get someone at a property.
Exactly. Chris was telling me about, he had 2 sites that he works for. He did a full remodel halfway across the country. You know what I mean? It's just knowing somebody that knows somebody.
Yep.
So solid, man.
Sweet. All right, cool. I'll hit you up in a little bit.
All right, later.
All right. Let's see. Mateus and then Keith. You guys, I don't know if you guys are still there. Keith, you on? Or Tim? Christopher? There we go. Tim unmuted.
What's up?
What I want to do.
Come on, man.
What's up,
How are you?
guys?
Oh, sorry, Tim Smith. Tim Smith, come on in a second. First, Tim.
Hey, 10 squared. What's up, man?
Tim, what's going on?
Yeah, I forget. I got to use last names now too.
Yeah, just call me Judd. I know I can respond to that pretty well.
Perfect. All right, what you got?
I'm still working on that property with land for the solar developer that I was talking about last week.
Nice.
So there was a bylaw change meeting or whatever, bylaw committee change meeting last night that I attended, and just to kind of gauge how the planning department was going to accept my my plans for wanting to change the zoning of this 30-acre parcel. And so that meeting is coming up June 13th. Most of the members from last night's meeting are also on the planning board, so that's why I decided to attend that. So yeah, that basically I got a couple weeks till that happens, and then I'll have kind of a better plan forward. And then
what about that? What about that one in Springfield, the hotel?
haven't heard anything. Haven't heard anything again from those agents. So
okay.
I imagine that's still going through with whoever put an offer in there.
All right. Well, yeah. Stay on them. If something changes, then it sounds like that could be cool.
Yep.
But yeah, so just follow up with them in like a couple weeks, see if it's still on track to close. If not, then say, okay, let's talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, Tim Smith. I think he's driving. All right, we'll give him a second. Keith, you want to give a little intro?
Sure. My name's Keith. I'm in Eastern Connecticut in the Mystic area. I'm an agent in Connecticut and Rhode Island, and I launched my first short-term rental about 4.5 months ago. Looking to keep acquiring short-term, mid-term rentals in the area and growing my portfolio.
Nice. Nice. How you bought your short term conventionally, right?
DSCR loan, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have not done a creative deal yet, but that's why I'm here to hopefully scale a little faster than all the capital I had to put in, conventionally.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Christopher and then Marsha.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
Just sneaking off my W-2 here just to catch a little bit of this.
Luckily, we're not live on YouTube, other than like the invisible one, so no one's gonna catch you.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I made myself pretty much indispensable. But
Nice.
no, I locked up my first creative deal not too long ago.
Congrats. What was the deal like?
So distressed property had, I guess you call them squatters at this point because they stopped paying rent like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's older. She's like she didn't want to deal with it anymore, but she was still paying like taxes and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And I saw the property and I looked it up on the Googles and stuff and figured out who owned it. And she actually lived maybe a couple houses down from me. And so I knocked on a door and I was like, "Hey, I noticed you had a property in Bath here. What's going on with that?" She's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't really do anything with it." I'm like, "Well, would you be interested in selling it?" And she's like, "It's pretty run down. I don't know if anybody wants to buy it." I was like, "Well, I mean, I'll buy it. What's going on with it?" She was like, "I got people in there and they yell at me and I don't really like confrontation and stuff like that." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, you want me to get rid of them for you, or I just want to help you." She's like, "Well, can you get rid of them?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So I got rid of the tenants in there through eviction process. And then she's like, "Well, you can have it if you want." I was like, "Well, I want to pay you some money because she's elderly, and I didn't want to make it seem like I was taking advantage of her." So I was like, "Well, I can give you. Let's figure out what it needs and what the fair market price is for it and stuff like that." But it's ARV is about 325, but it needed everything. Full to the studs renovation. Floors falling apart. The people who were living in there were literally duct taped the ceiling together because there was a hole. there was water coming through. I'm like, "Oh my God." So it needed a new roof, new appliances, new floor, pretty much new everything. And I was like, "Well, I mean, could you do like 60,000 for that?" She's like, "Sweetie, I would give it to you for free if you wanted it." I was like, "Okay, how about we do 60,000?" She's like, "Okay, great." I was like, 0% interest? She's like, how about 5? I'm like, "Okay, how about 0 down payment?" She's like, "I can do that." So I ended up paying all the closing costs, 0 down payment, and picked it up for about 60,000.
Awesome. And then are you keeping it and doing the rental, or are you wholesaling it?
Oh, it's pretty much gutted, and I hired someone to do the renovations, so it should be done by this month.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's great.
Thanks.
So, on to the next one.
Yeah, that was my first one. It was fell on my lap, so that was really weird how that happened.
So yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens. You got to make sure not to get used to that. But like when it happens, you take all that. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's do Marsha. Are you around?
I am here. Hi, I'm Marcia. I'm from Middleborough, Massachusetts. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Massachusetts, active as well. We are working really hard on foreclosures, Mario and I. My partner Mario, you guys all know Mario. And I also am doing some driving for dollars because we're around a lot. We do a lot of driving, and we see a lot of these houses that really need some TLC. So we're working on that as well, and looking to get into some bigger multifamilies. We're working on a few projects with Grace and Mark Shelgosh up in New Hampshire, down in Florida, and helping out Greg, looking for sober houses. So I do a little bit of everything, and I teach wholesaling. Mario teaches foreclosure, and anyone's welcome to come to our classes. If you need a little refresher on wholesaling, or if you don't know where to start, I can get you going.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
about it.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Who else we got? Let's do Mateus, Grant, and then Giselle. Oh, I don't know if Giselle and Celise are on, but we're gonna try to go quick because I want to get a few calls in before it gets too late. So Mateus, go for it.
So what are you guys asking? I just got here late. I got 6:40.
No, you're good. You're good. Introduction, like where you're from, what you're looking for, and what you can offer.
I'm from Mass, but I'm renovating a property in New Hampshire at the moment. Doing full renovation from the studs. Was like really bad shape. The house was vacant for 2.5 years, and leaking and everything that you can imagine. All the plumbing is off. Everything is off now, and I'm starting from scratch. And the house was sinking one side. We thought we don't have a foundation issue, but now we have, and it's not 2 inches, it's 5 inches. So we have to start, jacking up a house from one side and getting everything done. That's what we're doing right now. And pretty much what I can offer is things related to renovation in general. You know what I mean? Nice. And our goal with the property is just to get in a good shape to sell or at least cash out some money and get more properties. Anything that matters.
Good deal. Good deal. I know Chris was talking about doing renovations before as well. Chris Hemingway. So reach out to him. He might be a good person to connect with.
Okay.
Yeah, he's giving a thumbs up now.
Let me see him. Oh, I see.
Yeah. All right, cool. Grant, and then Giselle and Celicia.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up? I know you came on late, so we just are doing little introductions, short, sweet, where you're out of, what you need, what you can provide.
Yeah, so I'm in Central Maine. Right now, I'm working on a apartment remodel. One of my units was just outdated, and I had a tenant move out, so I'm taking advantage of the time. I did just get laid off from my job, so I'm gonna try to transition into some more full-time real estate, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try to do some direct to seller, maybe target some pre-foreclosures in my area, but that's what I'm up to.
Have you met Tim?
Oh yeah.
Perfect. All right, Giselle, you around?
I am here.
Perfect. Yeah, so quick intro.
Okay, great. Hi. So Giselle, who is here, I am looking to hopefully buy and hold. It's been super slow for me, probably primarily because I am working 2 jobs, which I am desperately looking to quit my full-time. It's giving me anxiety now. There has been a lot of changes, and I am not feeling fulfilled or happy with what I'm doing. So I don't know if that's the case, then I guess I will be doing this more, putting more time into real estate. I'm also trying to pursue a project in my home, but that's quite a long process. I'm learning a lot in the process. It's just a lot of trying to put together a like the plans, the getting permits, the getting approvals, and so we'll see how that goes. I'll see what I learn, and I'll see what questions I have for you guys.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Awesome. Felicia, and then Z, if you're around to introduce yourself.
Hi, so my name is Celicia. I'm in Rhode Island. I need everything. Call me if you need anything. That's it.
Felicia is one of the leaders with Courtney of Rhode Island. So if you need anything Rhode Island based, she's one to reach out to.
All right.
Yeah. She also, she's being humble. She knows what she's doing with anything, like especially creative finance wise. Celicia, stop being bashful. What? Yeah, first Subto transaction in all of New England. Get out of here.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. So
All right.
cool. Very nice. All right, last one, Z. You've been on the road for forever.
Hey, yeah, sorry.
I'm
gonna do whatever I can to close this deal tomorrow, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, I'm Z. I'm in Maine. I'm one of the leaders in New England. I do a lot of fix and flips and multifamily. I'm very good at deal structure analysis, and you know, kind of do it all, to be honest with you. What I need is I'm just looking for a lot more private money now. The deal flow, like the amount of deals that we have, is just exponential. Some of them are creative deals, some of them are cash deals, and then some of them are just long-term buy and holds. So if anybody has money that they want to park with me and get a great return, and there's always a Z money guarantee associated with that. So more than happy to help anybody out as well.
Awesome. Yeah, he's up in Maine. Z, all your deals are in Maine essentially, except I guess now you're a little bit further south.
Yeah, we got a deal in Boston because the people in Boston can't do deals. So we have a deal in Boston, Andover, that we'll be closing in August. So yeah, but mostly primarily in Maine, but I'm happy to help out anybody in anywhere. Like I think later today I'm talking to Leo about a potential I think it's an 8-unit in Boston, trying to figure out how to structure that deal. There's stuff I'm starting to do stuff in California now because I have family there, and I have a bunch of people out there that can manage the project. So yeah, but Maine and California is probably where I want to be.
Cool. All right, Tamiris, I think you're the last one, and then we'll do the breakout rooms.
Tammy.
Tammy? You there? Oh, she might.
I'm here. Hi,
There we go.
everyone. I'm Christopher Hemingway's partner. We are new to this, but we are excited to be part of this community, learn from the community. We've been doing some trial and errors, but yeah, just going with the flow, I guess. And we in Massachusetts and also looking to relocate to Florida.
Jacksonville area?
Yeah.
Cool.
Close to that Palm Coast area.
Cool. All right, awesome. So what we're gonna do now, it's 7 o'clock. I wanna spend somewhere between half an hour and 40 minutes. We're gonna do breakout rooms. Hopefully, if you, ideally what's gonna happen is we're gonna go into the breakout rooms, and I'm gonna try to make sure that everyone's got someone in there that can kind of lead the charge. So I want to make calls because obviously the whole point of us getting together is not just hanging out. That's fun, but that's not going to make us any money. So I want everyone to be able to be part of generating leads or closing deals. And the more you're able to see that, the better off we're all going to be. So we're going to break out into like 5 breakout rooms. If someone in there has leads that they haven't been able to call or need to be called, then perfect, work on those. If not, I've got plenty that people can call, that people can get on the phone with. So kind of depending on who else is in the group and what what people have will determine if you need leads from me. I'll kind of go around first and make sure that each group's got what they need in there. The idea is just going to be give them a call and see what's going on. Most of these, at least the ones that I have, are ones that we have texted and they're interested in selling, at least from a very sort of high level. Some of them have been called more than others. Some of them haven't been reached out to since we got their initial text message. So kind of like what Courtney and Dean were saying, we send out the way we generate leads is we send out text messages to all of them, and then the ones that respond positively, that they own it, they're interested in selling potentially, and that they're interested in selling relatively soon. So we get those 3 pieces of information. Some of the time, because I don't know how many of you guys use VAs, but some of the time you'll get ones that sneak through that are like, this really isn't a lead, that they were being sarcastic or things like that. So they're not ones that are likely going to be like one closed calls, but they've raised their hand, they've said that they're interested in selling. If there's someone in the group, so we're going to do 4 breakout rooms. If there's someone in the group that has leads to call already, use those. Okay. And then take notes on whoever you reach. Some of the time you're going to reach a bunch of people and have great conversations. Other of the time you're not going to have very good conversations. So, or people just won't pick up. Luckily it's 7 o'clock on a Thursday. So it's a pretty good time. So let me go ahead and create these breakout rooms. And Chris, that's fine. If people, you said some are warm, some are hot, reach out to them. It doesn't really matter. This is more of an exercise just in getting everyone comfortable with it, rather than it having to be like the hottest leads. Okay. So I'll kind of circle around and check in with people, but plan on coming back around quarter of. Okay. Any questions? All good? Perfect. All right, let's try these. If I'm gonna create them. If I need to, I might move some people around if need be. So here we go. Go ahead, join the rooms.
Sunday. How you doing?
Yo, what's going, bro? How you doing?
Good. I was just in group one. I was making a call because I'm using my phone to do the Zoom call and to make the call for just to run that trial run. It could be out the room.
No worries, bro. How's everything going with you?
It's chilling, man. I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to get like less nervous with talking to the sellers and stuff, and getting and seeing what you guys kind of do with the foreclosure calls and stuff.
Why are you nervous for?
What am I doing it for?
I said, why do you get nervous?
When I get nervous, I've never done this type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know. I really don't know what to say at all. I kind of just came in to try and get into buying, holding, multifamily and stuff.
Yeah.
But now I kind of like the whole thing. You know, I kind of want to, I want to stick with the buying, holding, but I do like knowing what other people, what they do and stuff. And I don't see really any loss in try to get some sellers some calls and stuff. Maybe even I can find my own deal if I can. If somebody can bring me a deal, it doesn't hurt really.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think with the calling stuff, it's not really that big of a deal. Just think of it as like, hey, you're talking to another person, like a friend or something. It's really not anything to be nervous about.
So I've been, actually, I'm glad that I even got to speak to you because I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
I was talking to a couple of private money lenders a couple months ago, and they were telling me, not from the group, just like me called like realtor when you ask for the quote.
Yep.
And they were telling me that I shouldn't even finish off my car payment because if I have so little debt on it, the bank wouldn't even consider, if I finish it off so early, they wouldn't consider my credit to be valid.
So is the question whether you should pay off your car note or not?
My question is, I want to pay the car note off anyway, but is it bad that I'm trying to do at least conventional first? Well, not bad, but I kind of want to I'm trying to move out of the place that I'm at now and try to start buying and holding.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just trying to see what would be like not the quickest, but the best route, if you had any ideas, because my credit's good. I have pretty good credit, and I have pretty good income,
Okay.
And I just kind of wanted to see how much, like, I see a lot of the deals getting popped in. They're like $40,000 sign-on bonus, like assignment fees and stuff.
Yep.
So I kind of need the whole really help on how to not really start it, but how I can even start getting people inside and renting it,
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to purchase a house conventionally, I think the best way to do it, in my personal opinion, is just go FHA. And the reason why is because it's just such a low down payment. So it just makes sense. The other thing is, if you are buying like a multifamily, they'll count the income of the property towards your income, right? So I think, the best loan programs are like, zero money down or very low money down. And the reason why is because you get such a high return on your investment because you're not putting that much money down. So if you can get FHA approved, if you're a VA, that's a great program. Even rural development is a good program. But any of those low money down programs, if you have a good stable income, you have a job, I would suggest go that route. And then after that, you can always buy sub-2 deals left and right as they come along, or seller finance deals or something like that. Whatever makes sense.
I feel you, because I was trying to see if I could get like this. I don't even think there's a lot of these houses.
You break up a little bit.
So I've been looking at a lot of these homes, and they're looking for a mortgage payment monthly of like $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
Mhm.
So that's like $1,000 floor.
Yeah.
A floor. So, and I just want a room because it's just me. I just want a room, and I was thinking about just renting it out to Section 8 because I know that the quickest, that's like guaranteed money there. They help people out.
Yeah.
Like they'll send people like straight to you, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like a secure way to make sure that the property cash flows.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna go and talk back to the private money lenders and just take the advice to not finish off my car payment. If he says it's not the best idea, then I don't really see why to do it. I just don't want to have to pay the house and the car payment when I can just finish off the car payment.
Yeah, I mean, it's all personal preference, bro. Honestly, like for me, I'm not a big fan of like car payments. I'm not a big fan of like student loans. I'm not. Me personally, I don't like debt, except if it's real estate.
Yeah.
Me personally, but again, everybody teach their own, right? Whatever you think is best. But my personal opinion is, the only debt that I have, me personally, is only real estate. I don't have any other debt, like student loans, no medical loans, no, nothing else. That's just me personally. I just don't like debt.
Yeah. That's how I'm trying to get out of it now. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get out of all this debt because that's the only debt I have is the car loan, and then after that, I'm free.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think having the car loan is going to hurt you if you're trying to get a mortgage. Honestly, because if you have good income, that monthly payment doesn't make that big of a difference. If it does, you can always just pay it off.
I appreciate it, Z. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I think they were calling to regroup or something like that. I don't. Since I've been here, you wanna? Yeah. Do you have any leads I can call, Z, just to practice?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find something. Sorry, I'm just trying to fill out this contract. This guy's been bugging me for a while.
Oh no, you're good, Z. You're good.
Yeah.
I got ample time, so you're
Yeah,
good.
it's fine. This guy's just been on my ass for like a while, so I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Are you getting a join a breakout room session?
I was in the breakout room section, but the phone kicked me off because I was in the call trying to I was in group 1. I don't know if you can put me back in there.
All right, let me text Ari.
Let me see. Oh wait, I got it right here.
All right, okay. All right.
Bye.
What's up, man?
Oh, wait. Hold on. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I made people go make calls.
Oh, nice. Wait, are they like in breakout rooms or something?
Yeah, and I've
Okay.
been like hammering down on people. I think. Well, it seems like it's going pretty well. We'll probably go for a little bit longer. But
I'm
yeah.
cool to chill here, or if you want to stick me in a room, I'm like indifferent either way. I gotta do some stuff on my computer anyway.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because they're almost finishing up. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that everyone was like actually making calls this time, not
Good. Yeah, because they tend to just chatter when you don't watch them.
yeah, and like just I don't know. It seemed like it worked pretty well. I'll be curious to see from people in each of the rooms, but actually like jumping from room to room and being like, no, get on the phone. Who's got a lead? Get on the phone. And I thought I was gonna have to give people leads for them to call. It seems like people are like hesitantly raising their hand and being like, I guess we could call this one.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Can throw them in the pool and make them swim.
That's exactly what it is.
Love
But
it.
yeah, I listen, you and Celicio were the ones that started that, and I appreciate you with the idea because
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
How's that? You just got one locked up, right?
I did. Yeah.
Where at?
Farmington, New Hampshire.
Fuck's sake, man.
But dude, it's already assigned.
Really?
Yeah, bro. That guy was getting blown up about that house.
Is that the first one you'll wholesale?
That will be my first wholesale, yeah.
Good for you.
I could have done the flip myself and made decent money, but I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna wholesale and make a quick buck. Honestly, I kind of shot myself short. I probably could have got more for it as a wholesale fee, but it is what it is. I'm a man of my word, put it that way.
And the other thing is like, okay, you could have maybe gotten another couple thousand or gone with the sure thing. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty sick deal. So did you see the terms or no?
Yeah, this is the one you posted, right?
Yeah.
Finance?
Mhm.
Yeah, I did.
0 payments for 12 months, bro. No interest. That's fucking for a fix and flipper, bro. That's fucking gold.
How'd you get that locked up?
So I actually called them when Salisi and I did that, calling sellers.
Yeah.
So if we can go back to that recording, that wasn't my first ever call to him, but that was like I hadn't talked to him in probably 4 months.
Okay.
And then I kind of like rekindled the relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then from that call on that Thursday night accountability, I followed up with him like the next like 3 or 4 more times. And we agreed to a deal, and then bam, got it locked on the contract. I had a transaction coordinator reach out to him to get the contract signed. He wanted to read it over, and we just kept following up with him. And then he signed him and his wife signed the contract.
What was his motivation? Was he a foreclosure or?
No, he bought the house cash. Honestly, the house wasn't costing him very much. He had to pay like a couple grand, like maybe like $1,000 or $2,000 a year in taxes.
Yeah.
He owned it outright. He bought it for 100 cash. His plan was to either fix and flip it himself or to fix it and then rent it out because it's a 2-family. However, he's too busy for this house. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
He like runs 2 nursing facilities. He has a rental property and he has his property where he lives. I mean, he has a kid, I think, getting ready for high school. He just doesn't have time to do it. So I kind of harped on that because he wants to do a lot of the work himself to save money. So when we were disagreeing on like rehab costs, he was like, yeah, there's no way it'll cost that much. And I was like, respectfully, Bob, like you're planning on doing a lot of the work yourself. Like I don't do any work. Like, for example, all the windows in that house need to be changed. That's probably at least $10,000. But if I had to guess, I would say you were going to change the windows yourself, right? He's like, yeah, it's pretty simple. You kind of just pop it out and then frame it and put it back in. Like, and I was like, all right, well, that cost me $10,000 in the flip that I'm doing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it, like the other thing is, even if you were going to do it yourself, you still got to account for that price.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. People definitely don't get that, but
Yeah. So, but I was able to kind of help him see my side of the view where like, it's like, I don't lift the hammer. I hire out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm too pretty for that, man.
Yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm like the visionary. Like I'm like, bam, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. All right, this is done. All right, you go do this. You know what I mean?
Shot caller.
Exactly.
Get to it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's awesome. Those look like really good terms, and I'm not surprised that got eaten up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Are you looking for another flip?
I am on the hunt, yeah. So Manchester's coming along. I think the goal is for us to be ready for paint in 2 weeks. And once it's painted, if you walk in there now, it still looks like a war zone because it still looks demoed and there's 2 bathrooms gutted. But literally, like if you go back in 2 weeks, let's assuming it's painted, then it's gonna be like, oh wow, we're near the finish line. You know what I mean? So
That's awesome. Yeah. So you better be on your hunt.
Huh?
You better be on a hunt for your next one.
I am. So find me something, man.
Well, you're still pretty far from Connecticut, unfortunately.
Yeah, you gotta start finding some stuff up here.
Yeah.
I'm willing to venture into the South Shore.
Okay.
So I think I can muster up some contacts down here, or at least start things like that.
Yeah.
And I keep hounding Tumanowski. I'm gonna keep hounding you guys about this Jacksonville house. I haven't forgotten about.
Oh, I know. So, one thing that I got a call tomorrow. There's a guy selling a portfolio, 36 properties in Jacksonville. I don't think as a portfolio, I don't think it makes sense because his terms are too high. But he's got some that are more are probably ones that he wants to get off his plate quicker than others. So I just gotta find out which ones those are.
Okay.
But yeah, all in Jacksonville.
So, but you guys weren't able to find the rep buyer for the one that I saw, right?
Well, we've got someone that I think is gonna. It's interesting. He's Muslim, doesn't want to pay any interest. He doesn't really care what he pays, but I guess there are rules against paying interest for Muslims. Yeah, which is like, wait, but have you met Z?
Dubious, very dubious.
Yeah, so I was looking it up, and it is in fact something that is part of the religion. In fact, a number of banks have created programs specifically for Muslims. So, but I think what we're going to try to do is a lease option where for every year he makes payments, he gets another 3% equity. I've got to figure out though what that means. Like if assuming he wants to pay it off early, how that would end up working.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was exploring options with that one to see if I can take it off your guys' hands and maybe turn it into like a midterm rental or short-term rental.
Someone said it was a little bit further out. Actually, Dean, I think, was the one that said it was a little further out. I didn't realize he was like showing me on a map the highway that encircles Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's I think it's called like Ocean Way or something like that.
Yep.
But there's decent amount of like stuff happening in that area. I mean, Dean would know more about the actual like downtown Jacksonville versus me, because when I go visit family, I don't know if you ever heard of Orange Park. It's right outside of Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a suburb of Jacksonville.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't usually spend too much time in Jacksonville, but even still, I mean, driving half an hour is not too bad.
Yeah. And if your family's already a little bit outside of Jacksonville, then
correct.
Bless you.
Thank you.
All right, let's invite these goons back and see
hooligans.
These hooligans. All right. Have you ever figured out? Okay, so when we press close all rooms, does it immediately close it, or does it do the 1 minute countdown?
Let's find out. I don't know. I forget.
Okay. Yeah. Close all breakout rooms. All participants will return to the main screen in 60 seconds. I never freaking understand it. Zoom's got a mind of its own with that. It's like half the time.
I can't tell you how many times I've been like a little killer. It's when it says 60 seconds and it counts down. You can typically finish your conversation and come back in the room. But I'm like I'm like, oh, a button. I click it and I exit the breakout room right away. I'm like,
I like the people that don't notice it and just go and go and go. And you're like, Joe, we got 20 seconds. Wrap it up. Come on.
Wrap it up, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, there are definitely a few people that are like that. Jesus Christ, man.
I was on a seller call with Father Gil, one of the newer students, and you know how, like, dude, this guy, when you think of a talker, multiply it times like 10. I let this guy rant for 30 minutes.
I had one that I put Mike on. It was an older woman in Tennessee. He called her on the nightly dial, a freaking hour-long conversation. I was like, oh my God, poor guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Ari, I did not want to come back, just so you know. It was so fun.
That's what I love to hear, Celicia.
Look at all these beautiful faces over here. Everybody making calls. Let's go.
I know.
Yeah.
I was in all my glory watching, like going around, jumping in different breakout rooms and seeing people on the phone. How many people made their
like
first
a proud
call?
dad?
But I was a proud dad. It's true. But how many people made their first call on that? Did anyone? Darn. All right. Next time, my goal is someone.
Oscar did. Oscar made his
Oscar,
first call.
you made your first
Yeah,
call.
I made a call. I said it with the mic muted.
Nice. Tell us about it.
Well, nobody picked up, so I just left a message.
Dude, that's okay.
So I was just like, how you doing? My name's Oscar Rosario. I had a partner that was driving around your property, and they seen that all the lights were off, and it didn't look like there was any activity in there. We were just wondering if you were doing anything with the property. Give me a call back at 401-749-8421, which is my number. And then yeah, I just wait to hear back if they do hear back. If I do hear back, I was telling Marsha, I said the name right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I was telling Marsha that they do call me back. I don't really know too much, so I'm gonna just refer them to her. And I'm gonna try to do a little bit of the talking, and then like once it starts if it does get too deep where I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna just refer them to the professionals.
Yeah.
You probably know more than you think. I would try doing more than just passing it on to someone. Like, get it to a point where you're like, oh, I really don't know, and then ask for help. But
okay,
you push yourself to have those initial conversations, and it's okay not to know everything, and it's okay not to have all the answers. In fact, even like, it actually is a good strategy not to necessarily be the quote unquote decision maker, because then they look to you when you give them a price that they don't like, and you kind of say, oh, I'm so sorry, that's the best I can do. They're like, no, you're the one that makes the decisions. You can do better than that. Whereas if it looks like you're on their side, or if you play it off like you're on their side and you're like, my boss is just, he's saying that this is the most that we'd be willing to do, then it's like good cop, bad cop.
okay.
They look to you as someone that's kind of leveling with them rather than someone that's trying to cheat them out of money. And the reality is, most people that have a home that they're selling, don't really know what it's worth. They either have an emotional attachment to it, or they see prices online that they get fixated on, and they forget what actually goes into an investor making money on a flip. I'm sure, like Santiago, you're a prime example of this in terms of the fix and flips that you've done. But how often does stuff run over budget and over time frame and have different costs that creep up that you don't prepare for?
That never happens. Never.
Yeah, right. It's always exactly as you plan. In fact, run early and usually under budget.
Yeah, usually under budget, under timeline. Call it a day.
No headache.
A day. Oh man, I said I barely even tried. It just gets done.
Everything goes perfectly as planned. There's no surprises when you open up walls. No big deal.
Right.
So contractors always show up Early.
Contractors always show up when they say they're gonna show up.
The electricians always clean up after themselves. I know
it.
Yeah. So it's just
And-
like
And contractors finish when they say they would finish,
yeah,
or maybe early.
nothing ever goes as planned, and so people, to be honest, the internet's a great thing for this, and it also sucks because people look at Zillow and get fixated on that price, and they're like, oh well, this says that my property is worth 400, so I should get 400, and you're like, no. First of all, Zillow is notorious for being wrong. It gets you potentially in the ballpark, but it's not the end all be all. And you're forgetting about the $100,000 that I'm going to have to put into this. You're forgetting about the closing costs. You're forgetting about the realtor fees that I'm going to have on the back end. You're forgetting about a million different things that I've got to put into this. And that's why my offer is like 200 rather than 400. So, yeah, it's, they are, you want to be on their side and not the bad guy, in their eyes. Keith, you guys got an auction coming up?
No, I was talking to a guy that Celicia thought that the auction was like 14 days away, and he was telling me that the auction already passed. And I just pulled up and they were like called back. No, the auction's not for 14 days, but I just pulled up the records and it had passed.
Damn.
That's what's going on.
Wow, I did not know auction.com could be wrong. They have it at June 14th. I mean June 16th, but it actually happened already.
This is
You know what? Maybe something happened. I don't know.
yeah,
Celicia, where did you find that? The auction date?
On auction.com, it's a property in Charleston. It says that the auction date is June 16th. So we called the guy, and the guy said it already passed. We said no, he didn't. So okay, Keith said okay, and then I said Keith, call him back because it hasn't happened yet. But his firm that it happened.
I know the guy.
But right here it says June 16th, 2023, Friday.
So I just jumped on
auction.com.
MLS. It says the notice of foreclosure was sent out on 4/17, and then the auction was on 5/10.
Okay.
And you saw that on your
That's through public records on the MLS. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we lost that one.
Well, so I want to hear how these rooms went, because I was trying to peep into each room and make sure that people were getting a chance to make calls, that you guys were all set up with the stuff that you need, whether it was leads or whether it was like software. So, but I want to hear what people's experience were. Who else? Grant, I think you also said that you made your first call and got a message. So keep following up with them. Both Oscar and Grant, make sure to reach back out to them, because in all likelihood, they're not going to take it upon themselves to call you back. So reach out, follow up, give them a call, double dial. It's unbelievable how many people will not answer on the first call and will answer on the second call. And at least for me, my thought was, oh, someone's going to be pissed off that I called twice. It happens on occasion, but for the most part, people will pick up and pretend that like they're not even fazed by it. So don't think twice about double dialing.
And just blame it on something else if they're pissed. Just be like, oh, it didn't go through on my end. I just wanted to be sure that I got in touch with you. Or, my system does that sometimes. It's glitchy, and then they can't be mad and you just move on.
Yeah. Don't give them an opportunity to get mad. You can explain it really quickly and just move right beyond it. And if you don't come up from air, they're not going to be able to circle back and get mad at you again. So, but let's see. I want to hear, Don, you were in a group with who? Ketsia?
Grace, Ketsia, Joe was there for a little bit. I had a few texts, conversations that we were ready to basically call, like when you weighed in on that call. I called and then left a message, and then I said I'd call back, so I'll probably check back with them. So unfortunately they didn't answer, and I didn't do a double dial, but now I will.
Yes, definitely double down.
Yeah, and then of course you dialed 1 for Grace. I got some good information about that. So
Yep. Yeah. So much of it, especially for the first call, is about getting information. You know, some of the time it'll be leads that are that are like ready to go, but a lot of the time that's not the case. And so you're trying to get information from them. You're trying to fill that hopper with people that are interested. And as it's like popcorn, as time goes on, some of them will rise to the top and be ready at certain points. So follow up, but make sure that the thought is to get information each time. All right.
Can I make a comment on the double dial?
No, Stacey, I'm so sorry. You can't.
I will anyway.
You're gonna make one anyway, so go for it.
Okay, so on the double dial, Don, you should always double dial, because if people have their phone on do not disturb, you won't even ring. Okay, so but if you dial it again, you will ring. So always double dial anyways, because then you called it, technically you only called it once. So always double dial, because if they have it on do not disturb, you won't even ring. And then you double dial, so you only call them once. You will ring if, at least with iPhone. So yeah, always double dial no matter what.
And we all know that the iPhone is better. So, I mean, there is that.
That's a fact.
Okay.
See, you heard me. Katya, did you end up making any calls? All right, you're on my list for next. Oh, you're muted. There we go.
Me? You talking to me
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Go for it.
No, but I really want to next week. So today I was just you can call it hiding if you want, but I liked what I saw from you and also from Dawn, because when I was listening to both of you, I was like, I would not have said that. So yeah.
And you will always feel like that when you listen to other people's calls. Like, no matter how good you are, you hear someone else and you're like, oh, duh, I should be saying that. And so you're constantly learning and refining. So it like allow that to happen on every single phone call, but also make it your own. Don't try to make it someone else's call or totally copy what someone else does, because it's got to be authentic. But Santi, connect with Ketsia at some point and make her make some calls.
We already have her set up with Father Gift, so start doing some outreach, baby.
Yes. Yes. And I think we're connecting next Tuesday. So I'll make you make some calls then too. Don't you worry. You're gonna be on the phone.
Oh, is that what our coffee's about? I didn't know that.
Well, I'm gonna make it be what our coffee is gonna be. Yeah. We'll get some details about each other, and then I'll make you get on the phone.
All right, fine.
Cool. Love it. All right, let's see. Marsha, Oscar, Sean, and Tammy, I think we're all on one. And let's see. Tammy, I don't know if you're there. Sean, I don't know if you're there. Marsha, are you around?
I am here.
Tell me about it. I know Oscar was saying that he was able to leave a message the first call he did, so.
Yeah, I happened to have some leads, so they were driving for dollar leads, and I had already skip traced them and ready to go. I just hadn't gotten to them yet. And yeah, a few of us got on the phone with, but we didn't make any connections, but it was just ringing and ringing and ringing. But at least we made the calls.
Yeah. Well, and it is a little bit later on a Thursday night, so it's probably not the most ideal time, but so what?
Yeah. And also Mateus gave me one in New Hampshire that he said it was looked abandoned, and he talked to the neighbors and they said, oh, she left and went to live with her daughter. Well, he had all the phone number and everything, and the address and the phone number. And so I tried to call, but there was no answer on either a landline or a cell phone. So he could probably try and work that himself. He said that he was, it was funny because Mateus thinks about, I don't know if I improve it, if it's gonna like resell at a good enough value or whatever. And there's a 45K mortgage on it. I was like, don't worry about any of that stuff. Believe me, you're just not gonna over improve it. He says, oh, but it doesn't have a garage and they all have garage. I just, no, you don't have to put a garage up and stuff like that. So I was like, no, you just make it livable. It's a 3-1 that's very desirable. And yeah, if you can either take over that mortgage or even paying off a 45K mortgage is pretty easy, even if they wanted the cash. But obviously they don't want the cash if she's not living there and she's living with the daughter. Maybe she's sick, maybe she's in a hospital, maybe she's in, Alzheimer's care or something like that, So instead of that house just sitting and rotting, he was like, I could do this, but the money, and I was like, don't worry about the money.
Well, yeah, Dawn and I were talking a little bit about that too, that like, don't get so far ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
We don't even take it one step at a time. And like Dawn was looking at what looks like a luxury property. It's like $3 million and worried about how to dispo it, which is all good to keep in the back of your head, but get in touch with the person first and figure out if there's any motivation.
Right.
And if there's enough motivation, there are things you can do, but without knowing if they're motivated to sell to an investor versus listing it or holding on to it, it's not worth trying to figure out dispo strategies.
Right. And I think a lot of newbies worry about how am I going to get the funds and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, don't worry about that part.
Yeah. Yeah. Keith, Santiago wrote to you in the chat, just FYI, so take a peek at it. All right. Group 3 was Chris, Celicia, Giselle, and Keith. So let's see. Chris, are you around?
Hey,
What's up? Tell us how it went.
we talked about Keith called the guy from auction.com. That was kind of like the pinnacle. We called a bunch of people and got voicemails. But we triple dialed and put Keith on the spot because he was the only one who wasn't on Zoom on his phone. And it was
I've
fun.
heard that excuse a lot.
Yeah.
Push for me, I felt like I needed it. This threw me up on stage.
It's good to have that feeling of like just kind of tossed into the deep end and having to figure it out. Being on the phones is not the most natural thing. So oftentimes you come up with excuses. And then if you're in, like, Keith, you were in a position where you were really the only one that could call. So I'm sure that's not your comfort zone, but it helps. You're going to have to be on the phone with somebody, whether it's sellers, buyers, agents, banks. You're going to have to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and Keith was really good on the phone too. He was like, had like a neutral tone, cool, calm, collective. When we got that guy on the phone from the auction, he was like, open to talk. He wasn't pissed. He just lost his house in the auction. It was, it wasn't a bad call. Except for the fact that he already lost his house.
Yeah, so ideally you would have called like 2 weeks ago, but hey.
I actually refuse to believe it. I choose to I choose to believe auction.com. That's not gone yet. So
I know, we called him twice. He called him back and was like, no, your house didn't sell.
You know what? Yeah. You know what, guys? What happened with my property too? It actually went to auction, and then the guy said, hey, I just want to follow up. Are you gonna buy my house or not? I said, okay, let me call. And then because I called them up to the day of the auction to cancel the auction, but so I thought he went through the auction, so he didn't. So and they switched with to another trustee. So I called that trustee. I said, hey, did this property go to auction? They said, no, something happened, because I was doing a loan modification at the time. So you know what? I still think that there's something there. I don't know. I'm not gonna give up. Neither should you, Keith. You know what? Things happen even at the day of the auction. I was calling, hey, cancel the auction. I'm doing a loan modification. You have to cancel the auction. But I thought I lost it, and then I called, and then they said, no, it actually, something happened. It canceled. They canceled. So that's how I was able to get that property back.
It's
So,
true. It will happen on occasion for sure.
yeah. So I wouldn't, why would auction.com have that? It should be updated. I don't know. It's their fault. So we're going to keep.
You and Sharky can go on the rabbit hole of looking at all the records and seeing if they actually went to auction or not.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
what you can probably do is call the county tomorrow. I don't know how it works. Is this one in Rhode Island?
Yeah, Charleston, Rhode Island.
Yeah, so you can probably call the county and ask them directly if that property went to auction and was successfully purchased.
You know what? Who you should call? The trustee. Let me see who the trustee is. Call them and see and ask if the property has gone through. Who's the trustee?
It had it on
Brock and Scott. Call them tomorrow and say, hey, did this property go
Brock and Scott LLC. Yeah.
Yeah, call them and ask them if the property went through. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's even better than the county because sometimes they're late on recording stuff. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually have their number too and their website and all that. Yeah.
Yep. And they're
Yeah.
usually not too hard to get information out of.
And the other one too that's easy too is Harmon and Law Associates. I think it's Harmon and Law. They're easy too to deal with. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
I don't know yet.
Still, I mean, the fact that he was making those calls, those are.
It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not necessarily easy calls to make. So.
Yeah. Maybe Keith, maybe you can go on their website right now. I shall try that too to see if that property is still there. But yeah.
The Charlestown one?
No, the Brock and Scott.
Oh, the law firm?
Yeah, the trustee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that.
Okay.
All right. Group 4, we only have Grant and Chelsea left. Everyone else ditched. So how those calls go? Grant, this was your first time calling sellers, right? Or a seller?
Yeah.
Nice. Left a message?
No, I tried calling 3 times and he didn't pick up, and it was a lead from Nick.
Got it. Was it a text lead?
I don't know. I think no, it was a cold call. He had a VA.
Okay. And do you know anything about the lead or just gave it a call?
It was a condo in the Hampton, and I don't know. I guess according to the notes that he had from his or his VA, it was a I don't know. He showed interest, but Nick hasn't been able to get a hold of him.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people the VA will have a conversation with, either text or call, and then they never pick up. Like, you can call them so many times, you can text them, call them, mail them, and they never pick up. And you're like, you told me that you were interested in selling. But yeah, it's very, very common, unfortunately. And then usually they'll call you back at the last second. They'll be like, hey, I've got an auction in 2 hours. Can you save this? And I want $50,000 in my pocket. Unfortunately, no, I cannot.
Ari, that actually happened to me. There was a lady. She called me the day 1 hour after the auction. She said, Celisa, I came home and then I found people at my house trying to buy my property. I said, when is the auction date? He said, it was 1 hour ago. I said, I'm sorry, because I reached out to her, but she never, and then I called her again and again and again. And then at, last minute, she called me like 1 hour after the auction. I said, you know what, go to the courthouse and see if you can, I don't know, file a bankruptcy or something. I don't know.
Let me
But
see
you
if
should
I
have called me last week or all the other times I was trying to call you to help you save your house. Because I've done that before. I've helped people save their homes, without any intentions, just for helping them. But this lady, she just waited at the last minute. Like, I don't know what to do.
There was someone that we were talking to that had an auction date or an auction coming up like at 11 that morning or something. He finally started responding at, I don't know, let's say 9.
10:59.
No. It was 9 a.m. But he goes, I'm on my way to my dialysis treatment. We're gonna save the house. My lawyer is on it. I was like,
Yeah.
are you sure? And he goes, yeah, I'm positive. I said, well, let me just take a peek and give the county a call. So called the county. Long story short, it was like 10:30 in the morning, and still didn't believe it was going through. I was like, you should probably call your attorney. He comes back at 3 and says to me, so there's a new owner of the property that's standing there and told me I had to get out. So
Oh my
I guess
God.
meant to be. I was like, oh my, it's not
You
that it
shouldn't
was,
even be laughing, but I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you're living under a freaking rock.
Yeah,
Damn.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
What a day.
But yes, plenty of sellers do that. And people just, for whatever reason, don't believe it's going to happen to them. It's like, I don't know how many different ways we can tell you this. But yes. So, all right. Does anyone have any either leads they're working on or things that they're getting stuck on that we can try to help out with? Nobody's got anything?
Yeah, I got a potential. I honestly don't know if it's been done, but it's a property that seller that I reached out to, and I thought it was going to be a potential Airbnb arbitrage, and then I had a couple calls with him, met up with him, and just kind of was talking about all his different options. And I was telling him about a wrap or what a wrap was. And he really liked that idea. And he was like, well, would you be able to facilitate that for me? And then like we could compensate you in some way. And so basically what I was thinking was to take a percentage of the down payment on the wrap as like my fee. But I've never heard of anybody doing that, and I have no idea how that would be structured. So any and all ideas would be awesome.
Well, I know. So right now, my wrap has been a pain in the absolute butt. It's just been sitting, so I might be a little jaded on wraps in general. But has anyone else done a wrap, bought or sold?
I
haven't
can
done
just
a
echo
wrap,
that sentiment. That wraps are a
done a
huge
wrap. Oh,
pain in the ass.
go ahead,
But
Charlie.
sorry, Santiago.
No, I'm saying I haven't done a wrap, but I'm just a little curious as to how conversation about wraps is coming up with the is this a seller you're talking to, Sean?
Yeah, so I originally reached out to him, and I thought it was going to be an Airbnb opportunity because it's in Salem, New Hampshire, super wealthy town on Canopy Lake, like really awesome view. Got to talking to him more and found out that it's a second home for the guy. They barely go there, and he was like, I kind of tried the long-term rental thing, and we had somebody in there for like 4 months, and then now the house is just kind of sitting. And I told him that I couldn't buy the property because he bought it like a year ago for $650 and he hasn't put any work into it, and now he wants $800,000. I was just like, yeah, sorry, I'm not your buyer, but like I might be able to help you out like with an option on something to like figure out what to do with the property. And so we met for coffee, and I was just kind of talking to him about like all the different options of like, I was like, you could potentially Airbnb it, you could do a midterm rental, you could lease option, you could regular long-term rental. I was like, you could do this thing called a wrap. And I kind of broke all those options down for him. He was like, I really like the idea of a wrap and like kind of becoming the bank. And he was like, but I don't know how to structure that, and you seem like you do. So he's like, if you put this together for me, like he was like, would you be willing to put this together for me? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I could put it together. And he was like, well, how would you want to be compensated? I was like, I'll probably just take a percentage of the down payment on the wrap because like a 10% down payment on what he wants for that is 80 grand. And I was like, well, if I can take like 25% of that, that's equivalent to a wholesale fee for me. So that's kind of how this whole thing got started.
Do you know his PITI?
No, I know he has we didn't get into that. I just know he has a really good rate. He bought it in 2021, so it has to be in the 2s or 3s.
So one thing that I worry about with something like this, Sean, first of all, I don't think the idea is necessarily a bad one. I don't know if I would do percentage or just do flat, like essentially do an assignment, what would be the equivalent of assignment fee on top of whatever, like, let's say he wants, 50K down.
Yeah.
So market it at 60K down and then your monthly fees. But the one thing I worry about with something like that is that especially with a property that large, are there a lot of wrap buyers in that area? Are there going to be people that would buy on a wrap?
I think there would be. I mean, Salem's a super desirable part of New Hampshire because it runs right on the Massachusetts line and it's a super wealthy town. And I figured that if you could put it at a reasonable price point for somebody to get in, that somebody wealthy like him that doesn't want to pay or that doesn't want to go through a conventional way could buy it. Like I said, it's like we've talked about it and the idea is he's open to the idea. I would just need to figure out how to structure it to see if it's something that's even doable.
Sean, what's the ARV on the property?
The ARV?
Uh-huh.
I think it's like 705.
And he wants
705, and he wants
8
800.
something for it.
Okay.
So I know I would have to talk him down on price a little bit, but I don't think that'd be too hard because he's kind of warmed up to me quite a bit.
It even sounds like he's desperate too. Yeah. But so you said it's a wealthy town, wealthy people live around there. I think it should be easy for you to find a web buyer. You just have to get how much does he want down?
So that's the thing is we haven't even gotten into those numbers. Like I just put the idea in his head and he said he was very open to it. He just wanted to think about all the options I presented him. I just wanted to bring it up to you guys so that if he does decide that he wants to move forward with this, I have some sort of idea how to structure it.
Yeah, I would do it.
Okay.
Because he's only 100,000 over asking, and that's pretty much creative. So bring his down payment really, really down, really, really low, and then maybe you collect the down payment. But I think you should stay on that deal.
Okay.
Not just pass it, not assign it, but pass it. Like get it for 800, and then you wrap it again to for 850 or something. Even if you don't get a down payment, but you're making a good cash flow, and then I think you should stay on that deal.
So the way I'm talking about it is like I necessarily wouldn't have like any control over the real estate itself. It would kind of be like an arbitrage in my mind where I'm putting it together for him. And to me, it would just be another way to get into a deal or do a deal with no money out of pocket. Because if I can put it all together for him and connect him with the right transaction coordinator and get all the paperwork in place and find the buyer for him and everything, that's realistically not a lot of time put into it. And if I could make like a decent assignment fee on it or just some fee on it, then I would look at it as another way to get into it with no money down. So I wouldn't technically have any control over the asset. I would just be
because when you wrap it, you don't have control anymore. The buyer does.
Okay.
So, but you can just get an assigned, a fat fee, maybe like $5,000 something. I don't know if you don't want to stay on that deal, but find a buyer and tell him, you're going to do it. I'll find a buyer for you. Just be honest with him. Tell him this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a buyer for you. I'm going to, put you guys together, and then he's going to pay me a fee. So you are good. And then try to, if you can get more, then you can. But make sure you structure that deal for him. And you get paid. Yeah.
Sean, what I think you need to do though is figure out what down payment he needs.
Yep.
And what his monthly payments are.
Okay.
Because if either one of those is too high, then finding a buyer is going to be really tough. If he can do a very low down payment, then you can add your fee on top. Because so like I feel like wraps seem like they would be such good solutions, and for whatever reason, maybe this isn't everyone and maybe this isn't every location, but finding wrap buyers tends to be, I have found it challenging. So and a lot of times you'll have to sift through a lot of people that are like, you know, if you're doing Facebook advertising, which is what we've done for one of our wraps, you'll get a lot of people that you get on the phone with and they're like, oh yeah, where is this deal? And you'll give them the location and they're like, oh yeah, I was looking in like Utah. I have no interest in a property in Florida. And you're like, it says right there. So you get a lot of really frustratingly stupid people, or they look at it and they know, you know, you've posted whatever the price is and they're like, oh yeah, I wasn't looking for something for $350. I was looking for something for like $100 or $150. I was ideally looking for kind of a mobile home. Like, so you end up having to put a lot of time into that. So I wouldn't do it for like 5,000, but if he's okay with a small down payment, and you know that rental rates in the area are more than his mortgage,
Yep.
then you're probably fairly safe.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
You can always
most
throw a
important
ghost ad
thing
out there
is
too.
sorry, Chelsea, go ahead.
You can always throw a ghost ad out there too if you like get his numbers and then you're like, you know, just want to be sure that, or even, well, no, you kind of need his numbers ish, but where you throw it out there to like get interest so that you don't get him totally hyped up and then you're just like wasting your time.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of do like a fake ad basically and see if there's any traction with it to see if it's a viable option.
Yeah, because on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, it's like there's kind of no consequence. So you just, and
Yeah.
if people message you, you just see, you know, kind of where they're at. But you can just gauge like how many clicks, how many saves, like leave it up for a day or two. And if you're getting nothing, either Facebook doesn't fit, Marketplace doesn't like that area, like, because there's certain areas where it will not, what is it called? Like it'll,
I don't know.
what's it called when it like suppresses your,
Yeah. Shadow bans you or something.
yeah, and either that or, you know, there's not a lot of interest. So just keep track of that if you do it on Facebook Marketplace of like the clicks and the saves, because if you're not getting a lot, then you might be spinning your wheels.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the most important thing is the PITI. So find out what that is and then go from there. Really, that's all you
Okay.
need. Everything else can be worked out.
Okay. So like say in a perfect world, right? It all works out, like we decide to do the deal. Would you guys structure it as like just have them sign a JV agreement, or like how do I protect my interests in the property at that point? Or
I think first you figure out what his down payment is and what his PITI is before you get too concerned about that, because he may be too far out in La La Land, especially if he's wanting $800 for a $700,000 property.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Santi, what were you thinking?
I hate to be like the fucking Debbie Downer right now. I just feel like we're jumping steps. We don't know what his PITI is. We don't know what his interest rate is. We don't know how much he owes in the house. So we're going over all these steps and these potential wrap options. Like, what if his payment is $4,500 a month? You're gonna find a wrap buyer who's gonna pay $5,000 to $6,000 a month. Like, you know, I'm probably slightly exaggerating on the monthly payment, but I think you should have got more information. You're coming at it from a consultant standpoint, which is good. You're noble in your thought process, but just be careful, because sometimes in sales, when you give people too many options, it kind of confuses them and then they become indecisive.
Okay.
Versus if you give them two options. But even before you even get to those options, you need to collect a lot of information, right? Like, this guy has his house sitting there rotting away. He's not really doing anything. Is he interested in selling it? Or is he kind of just like, I don't know what to do with it, right? You said he tried the long-term route, but it didn't really work out. Say, okay, well, if you know, you're not interested in renting it out long-term, maybe I can take it off your hands and put some money in your pocket, or maybe I can turn you into the bank and pay you a little bit on your equity, right? So have conversations to see if he's interested in something creative, and then maybe you could become the buyer on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But you need to collect more information. Like we need to know like what is a potential, but what are the bunnies, right? Like how can we help them out, right? And then if we establish that we have a potential to help them out, then you need to collect information like, all right, how much is your PITI? How much are you paying each month, right? Because if he tells you he's paying $4,800 a month, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, probably nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kennedy Lake, a house on Kennedy Lake is probably prime location. So
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you need to gather some more information, and we'll focus on the last parts afterwards. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like I'm talking crap about your approach. I'm just thinking about like we're going over all these scenarios where there's still key information that we're missing.
No, that's fine, dude. I like it when I get brought back down to reality.
So
I just want to make a comment on the PITI that Santiago mentioned. For example, you said if the PITI is 4,500, you're gonna have to rent the house for, let's say, $5,000. You don't necessarily have to rent it for $5,000. You can keep that PITI, right? But you stay out of the deal. You say, hey, you assign the deal, right? You give me 5,000, 1,000, I don't know. You assign, and then the owner is gonna pay 4,500. It doesn't have to be a higher price, only if you're staying in the deal, But if you're not, you can just assign it for the PITI. You collect your fee and then you move on with your life. That's why for this guy, you
that
have
too,
to be.
but obviously, but even still, like not many people can afford a $4,500 mortgage.
No, I understand, but he said it's a wealthy town. Wealthy people live there, so somebody bought that house. So, but I was just commenting on that. It doesn't have to be a higher price than the PITI. You can always just assign it and to have
So, like the
himself
down
buy
payment
it.
is your assignment fee, and then they get it at cost, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's all
Does
I
anyone
wanted to say.
know what a wrap is? I guess we probably should have asked that. Is there anyone that doesn't know what a wrap is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So super easy way to describe it. It's essentially where you take all the money that's owed on it and wrap it into one fee and then sell it to somebody else. So it's great for it's great for a Subto transaction where you're taking over someone else's mortgage and you're essentially selling that property to someone else as a sort of seller finance. You're holding the initial mortgage, and then someone is paying you that difference. So like we have one right now that the nightmare, Santiago knows about this one. The nightmare Jacksonville property that we've had for a while. We caught the arrears up for a guy that was going through foreclosure and took it over Subto. So we're now making payments on his behalf to the bank on his existing mortgage, but have enough money out to catch everything up that it didn't make sense for us to keep it. So we're looking for a buyer who's usually they're 1099 employees rather than W-2. So it's a little bit harder to get a loan or take out a mortgage on a property, but they have the money and they have they can afford the monthly payments. So what we're doing now is we're taking we're asking for enough of a down payment to cover all the money that we put into the property, and then monthly payments that exceed the amount that we're paying for the property for its existing mortgage. And that way we're making money both on the down payment, which is that initial lump sum of cash. We're also making monthly money because of the difference between the rate we're paying the bank and the rate that someone else, the end buyer, is paying us. Does that sort of make sense?
You're basically putting like your own seller financing terms on top of the terms that are already there, wrapping them together, and then the person that's buying it doesn't even know that there's two different things involved. And so it's like the existing financing, your terms, so that you're making money and you wrap them together and sell it.
Yeah.
I don't know, trying to put everything that Ari talked about into like a little package. Because that was like all different reasons too that you would want to do it. Because there's sometimes that it makes sense and sometimes that it doesn't. So there's certain reasons that sometimes a wrap makes more sense than doing it another way.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what he was explaining with his Jacksonville deal.
Ari, can I share my screen and do like some pictures? Because if I'm sure there's probably people who are still confused.
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right. Let's see. So everybody can see my whiteboard and drawings.
Yeah.
All right. Ari got a deal in Jacksonville. Jax from Bob. All right. Bob was behind on his mortgage. I'm gonna make up numbers, by the way, Ari, but just to make the point.
Yeah.
Bob was $30,000 in arrears, and his PITI was, just to use easy numbers, $1,000 a month. So these numbers are going to be unrealistic, but I'm only doing it to paint the picture. So
Santiago, for those of us who don't know, what's PITI?
Principal, interest, taxes, insurance.
Basically, the most important thing when you're talking about creative deals.
All right. And by the way, guys, I want this to be interactive. So if someone's confused along the way, I want you to stop me. Unmute yourself and stop me. So Ari catches up the arrears and starts paying $1,000 a month, right? And then let's say he finds a buyer who's willing to do a $50,000 down payment and pay $2,000. So a buyer, so now a buyer comes in. So first of all, this is one mortgage and one package. And then he finds a buyer who's willing to do $50,000 down payment. I'm going to put DP for down payment and pay a PITI of $2,000. So Ari is going to wrap that around the original mortgage, and Ari is going to pocket the difference right here. This is Ari. Right in the middle of the deal.
Santi, with something like that though, who is the one that ends up owning the property? Like, if I sell it to someone, are they responsible for stuff, or am I responsible for repairs?
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the buyer would be the owner of the property.
Yeah.
The buyer would be on the deed, but Ari is just getting the difference between the original PITI and the new PITI.
Yeah. So that's one question that I was surprised that some people were asking, and the new owner, we essentially are seller financing it to somebody. So they don't need to know stuff that went on for the acquisition. They just need to know who they're writing a check to, and they're writing a check to me. So they own the property, but they're using my financing.
Correct.
And I'm using someone else's financing. So that's why it's called a wrap.
Yep. So Ari is like the middleman. So he wraps his own financing terms around the original, and he's basically in between, pocketing the difference.
Yep.
Hopefully that was helpful to some of you. Or
Chris, I know you raised your hand. Did that kind of answer it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's crazy creative right there.
Pretty
That's
sick.
like super ultra creative.
Yeah. I didn't even get into the weeds because I could have started talking about interest rates and stuff like that. But like if the guy has a 2% mortgage, you can charge a 7% mortgage and pocket the difference. So you can really get into the weeds with it.
Yeah. Don, what's
now,
up?
just so we're clear too, these are people that are buying wraps are people that typically can't qualify for a traditional mortgage. That's correct, right?
That is
So that's
very
why
correct.
they have this
Yeah,
option.
Let's say somebody who makes a lot of money, 1099, they make $150,000 to $200,000 1099, but they write off 90% of their income. So on paper, they make $20,000. They don't qualify for any mortgage, but you know that they have heavy cash flow. Penalty box buyers. I like that, Chelsea. I've heard that before.
Yeah. And it's also like, yeah, Chris, you can be super creative with this kind of stuff. And you know, like this deal, as it turns out. So here's the other potential snag that happens with stuff like this is sometimes the arrears, like as investors, if we're going to go to the bank and get a loan out for the property, we're used to paying, I don't know, mortgages somewhere between 10 and 20%. You know, if you're buying a bunch of properties, sometimes it's a little bit higher because you're a commercial investor. But for this one, we're about at the 20% in terms of how much the arrears were. So the arrears were high compared to the down payment when you take out money from the bank. So sometimes with properties like this, you have to even be a little bit more creative. Or I don't know who I was. Oh, Santiago, I was telling you this just a minute ago, but we have a potential buyer who, because of his religion, doesn't believe in paying interest. And so it makes it really complicated because when you're talking about, we purchased the property at a price of $350,000, but over the course of the 30 years that the loan takes, because of the interest, we're probably paying another $300,000 as a cost for that money. So if we sell it to him with no interest, yeah, we're going to be losing a ton of money. So that's where it starts to get even a little more tricky. And like, we may be looking at doing a lease option where we give a certain percent equity for every year that he makes payments. So you can get super creative with stuff like this to make the deal work. It's kind of, it's trying to help both the buyer and the seller solve problems. And the more strategies that you have to do so in your tool belt, the more problems that you can solve, the more money that you end up getting paid for it. So yes, they start off creative and can get even more creative. It's kind of in the weeds.
What religion is that?
Yeah, he's Muslim.
Because maybe we should buy properties from them creatively.
Yeah, I had never heard of that, and he's got a couple friends that that also are in similar positions. But yeah, I was looking it up more, and there are a couple banks that have like different, essentially they're lease option programs where they give equity over the course of the entire lifespan of the loan. So yeah, had never heard of that until this.
Don, you had a question?
No, I think she said she was just playing with the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mind.
You're good. You're good. Just want to make sure we're answering everything. Who else? Does anyone else have questions? What other properties are being sticky?
What does that mean? What are we talking about right now?
Like sellers that are given problems that you're trying to make a deal with.
Problems that we're trying to solve, sticky problems.
Yeah, anything like that. Something boring.
I mean, no, I spoke to a seller earlier today. I pitched him potential creative finance. This guy talked my ear off for 30 minutes, and I finally found a way to segue back to the property. So I have a follow-up call with him, I think on Tuesday. I was able to get a seller finance deal for a property in Farmington, New Hampshire. That was pretty sick.
Nice. So, I had one that was a similar talker. Justin and Chelsea had talked to this woman before, and she's definitely off her rocker. One of those, yeah. She thinks her property only needs $30,000 in repair, and Justin had gotten some pictures, and it's like it's an old house, and definitely had a bunch of demo done. She's like, I've got everything for the kitchen all in the barn. It's gonna be no problem, easy peasy. Justin's like, yeah, it's 6-figure flip for sure. So
fun times.
Yep. But I got to hear all about her cross-country trip moving to California for a new boyfriend and the dog she's bringing with her and everything like that. So sometimes you do have to just let them run their course and put yourself on mute, put the phone down, and let them do their thing.
Absolutely.
I have a question regarding lead generation.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's hear it.
and it's so like I was looking at I created a list on PropStream for failed listings.
Okay.
And you'll see this question, Santiago, in the email, but I just want to ask it now. There are failed listings, so there are like 100 or something, properties listed. And the failed listings of those properties went back like a decade or so. There are a good number from 2023, 2022, and then years prior. So I'm like, how far back should we consider? What's the max years we should consider when looking at failed listings? If even a year.
I mean, I think a year would be fine. Definitely. I mean, 10 years ago, probably not. I would say maybe 2 or
Further out you go, the more tire kicking you're gonna do. So it's like 1 year is fine, 2 years is okay, right? We know 10 years is too much. We know 1 year is fine. So like get to a point where you're like, this is good enough. I can start generating some leads from there. You know what I mean?
And the other thing you can do is you can try it out. Like start with the most recent ones, get through all those. Then when it starts to feel like, okay, no one's interested, then cut it off there. And if that happens at 1.5 years, then great. If it happens at 5 years, then that's fine too. But work your way back.
Okay, makes sense.
The other thing, so correct me if I'm wrong, but don't realtors have access to failed listings or expired listings?
Yes, we do.
So
you want to make sure that those properties weren't relisted at a later time because that happens more often than you think.
Yeah, but rather than pulling from PropStream, I guess I have a bias against batch and PropStream in terms of pulling lists, just because I feel like, so whenever something's super easy to get, it's going to be they're going to be probably the most outdated, but B, it's going to be the ones that everyone else is going to as well. So that's less of a problem in markets that are less saturated, but like go to Florida, go to Arizona, go to the Carolinas, and you've got so many people that are hitting these same people up constantly that you're just another one of the voices essentially. So you've got to be a little careful. But when you have the ability to get fresher lists and it's a little bit harder to get, or it takes a little more time, generally speaking, you're going to do better. So if I'm looking for an expired listing, what I would suggest doing is just posting in Discord and being like, hey, are there any realtors in Massachusetts that would be able to get me a list of expired or failed listings?
Good note.
Yeah, I actually agree. I don't really have any luck with PropStream as far as expired listings. But if I were you, I would reach out to Janice, Marsha, Leo, Sandra, all those agents in Massachusetts and ask them for expired listings.
Yeah.
If you want New Hampshire, and send you a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can help in Connecticut or Rhode Island.
You see the power of this community right now? She literally just got fucking New Hampshire, Mass, and Connecticut. Bam! I got you.
One question: 3 states, you're gonna get those lists, and then
you're gonna be overwhelmed and bombarded.
Chris, yes, you will still need to skip trace them. But skip tracing them is different than generating the list. And so if anyone needs, the place that I've grown to like, Claudio turned me on to them. It's called Direct Skip. It's just, I don't know. I've had a lot of luck with them. It's super simple. They give you 500 free skips if you sign up. I think that's if you sign up in general. It may only be if someone refers you. But either way, 500 free skips is still 500 free skips, and they're generally pretty good. So yes, you will need to skip trace them, but skip tracing them does not need to be super challenging, and it also doesn't need to be very expensive.
If you get those lists in a CSV file or Excel file, you can just upload them to one of those. Skip trace it that way too.
Yep. Yes, Mark, you can also use Fast People Search or what is it, True People Search. It just depends on how much time you want to put into doing that. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. If you've got a big list and you're willing to either shell out a little money or, you know, use one of the promotions, my opinion, especially because I text as the first contact, if I tried to do that, it would take me so long to write them compared to texting them that I'd be wasting so much time. So, or whatever it is, I don't know. I think I spend like 6 cents or 9 cents for a skip. It's just easier to do that.
Sorry, my laptop was dying. Can the people who mentioned that they have access to the MLS, could you guys speak up again? So I can...
Keza, Corey Keza here. I can get you New Hampshire.
Keza, okay.
I'm writing it in here.
You have Marsha and Mass. Marsha. Marsha, I don't know how to
Oh my
pronounce your
God,
name.
I haven't been called that in a long time. That's the Boston
Masha.
accent.
Masha.
Masha.
Thank you, Ari.
Keith Sheridan's in Connecticut, if you see it in the chat, and Rhode Island.
Yep. So, okay, so that's 4 states of New England. You've got 4 states right there for expired listings.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you, everyone.
You're not going to want to go back 10 years. You're going to be exhausted after a year with 4 states. So, okay, cool. Yeah. If you want to put your email address in there, I'm sure they'll be able to help you as well. So real quick before we wrap up, do we have any meetups scheduled? Cool. Connecticut, I know. So actually, Keith, I think you and I are the only Connecticut people still on.
I missed the last one.
What?
I missed the last one.
You're good. You're good. We're gonna have one in June. We're deciding on one of 2 weekends. So we will have one. I'm thinking about making that one Central Connecticut rather than Springfield, so that we can get some of the Stamford people coming up here. And also, I think Jeff's got a flip going on in this area that I want to take a peek at.
Boom.
So we'll release that within the next week, but it's either the weekend, I think it's the 18th or the weekend after, one of those 2. Boston, how'd your 50-person behemoth go?
It went great, actually. We did a power hour, and I was being what do you call it? I was being the one going from group to group saying, you guys should be making calls. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. I know that role somehow.
Yeah, I was like, no chit chatting, let's make some calls. So we did a power hour. We did like an overview of the market and like sale data, which is, I always start off my meetings that way as well. After that, we had Matt Fitzgerald talk about all the lending products that his company has, and he has some pretty cool stuff with DSCR loans. He has, if you have a business bank account, they can do bank statement loans just based off of like 2 bank statements and deposits, not withdrawals from those bank statements, as long as your business has been open for 12 to 24 months. And he has typical fix and flip loans as well. So yeah, he has a lot of lending options. So he's definitely he's the type of person that we want to stay in contact with, because he has a very like, no matter, figure out a way to make it happen type of attitude when it comes to the lending options. And after that, just beautiful networking. You know, it's a good sign for me when I basically literally have to kick people out. Like, I don't want to stop the conversation, but I literally have to say, all right, guys, now you got to leave. So.
Yep, that is the best. You guys got any other on the schedule?
Not at the moment. I would imagine the next one's probably going to be probably like late July, one of the weekends in late July.
Cool. Maine, New Hampshire, you guys got anything?
Not that I know of yet, but we will definitely work on getting something put together.
Yeah, not on the schedule right now.
Chelsea's not invited though.
Well, good. You're not invited to ours either.
Wow, some tension.
Guys, if you're not following, what is it? Subto New England on Eventbrite, that's where you're gonna get all the information on these events.
Yes. And make sure, what is it? Sub2newengland@gmail.com. Make sure that's in your address book so that when we send out emails, you're actually getting them rather than going to spam. I'm going to put it in the chat real fast. But yes, put that, make sure to follow us on Eventbrite and to put that in your contact list for Gmail so that you're getting all of our info. Yeah, on IG too. Do we have a Facebook? We might have a Facebook too. We must. If we've got an Instagram, we've got a Facebook. I don't know. I should have asked when Courtney was on because she's the one that actually knows.
I have a like New England Subto Facebook.
Yeah, I was about to say I follow one too.
Cool. All right. I'm so bad at social media. There you go. Yep, that's the one. There it is, Don. Perfect. All right. Corey, you good?
Oh, I thought we had a Facebook, like a Subto New England Facebook page. We don't have that.
I don't know. Don just showed something that looks like it.
That's Facebook, Corey.
We
Subto
have
New
one,
England.
yeah.
We
Facebook.
must have one. If we've got an Instagram, we've also got a Facebook.
And Corey, you're on it. So you're on it.
And apparently I am too. So
all right, cool. Oh, great.
there you go. All right,
We're
guys.
all set.
It is 9 o'clock. Let's get out of here. Please reach out if you need anything. Any of us leaders are happy to help wherever we can. So feel free, shoot us a message on Discord. It may take us a while to get back to you, but we also, I think, all have email addresses and phone numbers in the directory. So take a peek there if you need to get a hold of us, and we will be happy to answer any questions you guys have, whether it's about transactions or Subto New England stuff going on, whatever it is. If we don't know, we'll make sure to find it. So we will see you on Discord. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.